We're at the first few minutes of the 5 o'clock hour. And I would imagine in February in Russia, and I'm not really sure about, time zones and everything, but it would be about pitch black out by 5 o'clock. I know here in the States, in the Midwest, in February by 5 o'clock, it's dark. So are these guys fighting in the dark? I don't think that would happen, but it could be. Yeah, it has gotten quite the evening time. Our little battle here. In this hour, in this 5 o'clock hour, it's been all Russians. And they have taken advantage of the no pointers, unprepared for broadcast. If that's what you want to call it. But anyway, taking advantage and solidified their lines. Around Eli, we're ready for our next chip draw. Got them all jug up around here. Let's grab one and continue play. What does fate hold? Now, the French have more in the bag, so the Russians are risking shooting their wad early, shall we say? All right, let's hold on to there. Let's grab this. Who is it? French. Yeah. All right. Well, I think the French need to get their units in a position for fire for that red cube. It's just a matter of getting some units here lined up. I don't want to do nothing fancy. We're just getting ready for that fire combat. We could inflict some casualties. Who gets the cube? Oh, everybody's fresh, including Joseph. But you never know. I don't know what you want to do. Like I said, this is wasting time. We only have one turn left. A bunch of cube draws and one more, and we got to get the victor. So far, it's a Russian shutout. Victor is whoever has the most occupied hexes. So we'll see what we can do with that, with this cube. Be right back. It'd be imperative that we get ready for that fire cube. So the cube on the French, on the first activation, is given to the 3rd Division, 4th Corps, and that equals Legrand and all his units here. I believe 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. No, not them. 3, 4, 3, 4. That's all these units back here. Who are these 2 4s? Oh, 2 4s. 2 4s must be. Laval. So he's got a couple of units here. 2 4s that he did not move. Oh, do we need to move them? We do need to move them because we moved Laval. All right, my mistake. Oh, we haven't moved Laval yet, though. But he moved in the last activation. We didn't move his men. All right, we need to move Laval's men. 2 4s up here. Yeah, we didn't move these 2, so he's also got men here, but we didn't move those because they're locked in. But yeah, I was under the impression that these men were not part of Laval, so let's do that real quick. Be right back. All right, we have to figure in. So this was from the last hour. There's nobody, he hasn't been activated this hour yet. This is a brand new hour. So when we moved him, they were on their 2nd or 3rd activation. So therefore, here's this men right here. They're locked in, but I have, zoom in here. Yeah, I had these units, all these units back here. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll have to go back and watch the video, see what we did, but we only moved these men on up here. I just moved these men 1 or 2 hexes because, like I said, they were fatigued. But we're thinking on giving the hex not to the 2nd Division, or 3rd Division rather, we give it to the 2nd with Laval. So Laval will move, and his men, all these men here. I'd rather do that instead of having Legrand. They're all got it all traffic jammed anyway. So Legrand's men will stay back here, and we'll concentrate on Laval. I'm going to go look at that video and see if I just forgot about him. I'm pretty sure I did. We'll be right back. All right, Laval was the last movement in the last hour. So, and he only suffered a 1 movement point penalty, so I gave these all just 1 more movement. So we will start with them now. Everyone's fresh. brand new movements, and we'll be able to lock on in. Makes it a lot more easier, and it's the way the game should have been played. So yeah, we just forgot something there. And it really works out good because that was the last activation. So I don't think anything here really would have changed. With these units coming in, they might have, but we'll do what we can do now. Like I said, they would have got there anyway, so here's about the extent of it. So yeah, everything's pretty well caught up the way it should be. We will continue on with the, who is that, the 2nd Division, 4th Corps. Make sure we're here. 2 4s, yep, all the 2-4 units. We'll be right back. Alright, we're done. And unfortunately, going from column to line and going down a slope did not leave us enough movement points to pay the 2 to get adjacent to a unit. So there you go. We were all around. We were short even with full movement points. It cost a lot because it would have took us, like right here. It flipped over. I think, well, we can do it here real quick. Oops, we gotta watch what we're doing. Like a bullet or china shop with this stuff here. Alright, well, these guys here start off with 6. Alright, say you were right there. This costs 2. So 2 movement points to go here. We flip on over. That's going to be another one to change formation. So we'll use 2. This will be using 3. Alright, we've used 3, and we only got 4. So that means we got 1 movement point left. It costs 2 to get there. So that's why we're there. Hold on a second. I gotta straighten all this up. Right, now the thing of it is, old replacement general here is definitely blocking the works. I had to go around him and everything. If he was gone, it'd make things a lot easier. So if we get another French cube draw, it might be pertinent to use it on this one again. Press the issue and get right next to him. Right now we have no fire. If we get that fire combat, then it's the end of it. We did move this unit here. There's 2 units on top. This one's the strongest. The one that was there is now on bottom. We moved a stronger unit into this hex. He's still only 8 strength points, but it's 1 strength point more than the unit that was there, so he'll take over the lead. Gave him a little bit of help with the fire combat against these 2 against this one. Need to bring somebody in to help this one here, but we're house to house, and we've been house to house in here for a long time. The last 2-3 hours. Shows you what happens there, but there you go. Not ready for the fire cube yet, but getting there. Ready for our next cube draw. That was Laval's move. I might want to put him in a different spot. We'll see what we want to do with our general. We'll be right back. Alright, well, I have forgotten to, or I thought I did hit the record button, but I didn't. We've gotten everything straightened up here, and we've already had our cube draw, and as luck would have it, it turned out to be the fire cube. Oh my god, you can't make this up. So anyway, that was the worst thing that could happen for the French. As it happened with our last fire cube, it was like 12 firings from the Russians and only 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 from the French. So it looks like it might be the same thing here, although we got them against us here. If we could have drawn just 1 more cube, we could have got up against them and had a good firing for the French, but as it is, there might not be too much firing. These boys will be firing without a return fire. Without return fire, we'll have some fire going on in here in town. And I was just about to put Laval in there too. Could have did that. So we'll have our fire in the town again. See if anything breaks up in there. But other than that, we got a bunch of firing going on. Old Laval didn't get his men up there in time. We wanted all these men in here to get engaged, but they couldn't. So you can't make this up about the cube being drawn now. So bad luck, bad mojo for the French. It's getting late. I got my old wargaming faux pas here. I got this robe on, so we might do this fire later. Tomorrow's a work day. But yeah, the fire cube has been drawn. Wow. We weren't ready for that. We were anticipating it, just about ready to get next to him. One more blue cube, and we would have been in position. All right, we'll see what happens when all these units decide to open up. We'll be back. All right, it'll be a new night. We are down here in War Room section of Man Cave, and it is fire cube time. We have to resolve all the fire comments. I was just reading up on it, and there were maybe a few idiosyncrasies that were particular to his way he resolves it. Number one, we're going to go down here and start off. It says to start on an extreme flank. Whoever has the initiative is who they say starts the fire combat. And I think that has a lot to do with the more expanded game, not with the basic, with this learning game. But we'll go ahead and go with it, because it will be either Essen's men. He has an initiative rating of, where is that? Rank leader. Command point initiative rating is the one on the right. So initiative, but that's a bigger leader. That's not these leaders here. Let me see what goes on here real quick. Be right back. All right, I believe that one is. There is no top one, but that is for the Army Commander, and that's his command point range, I think. So that will be his command number, or his initiative rating. So we'll have a tie, Joseph with a 7, and Essen with a 7. We'll have a little roll off, and like I said, I don't think it makes a difference. So we'll see what's up here. Higher rolling goes first. It'd be the Russians. Alright, we'll start off with the square formation. No matter what his strength is, unless it's a 1, and he's not a 1, he can only shoot 2 strength points out of each side. So, rolling under the 2 strength point table. And we'll see if he gets any modifiers. Gyro modifier for combat. Snowstorm, targeted artillery, nope. Artillery, defensive fire, nope. No modifiers. Alright. This will be for the square. Going against the Chessers, a Cheval. And the Cheval can't fire back. This is not a movement phase, and he cannot charge, so taking a pox shot, looking for a high number if you're a Russian fan. Doesn't do a darn thing. Alright, so the other side of the square will fire at the rear of this. So that's the 16th Regiment? Yeah, 16th Regiment. Alright. Again, no gyro modifier. Looking for a high roll for the Russians. 9. That translates into nothing. They need at least an 11. Gotta have an 11 if you're in a square with no modifiers. Be right back. Place a smoke marker on that stack. Now I'm going to look at that stack here real quick. There you go. Now I guess you could say that this unit here should be on top. The top unit is what's called the lead unit. Let's make sure we got everything straightened up around here. And the lead unit fires, but we're in square, which you can only fire 2 anyway. But the lead unit was the one that will take the any hits. So this one will not take any hits, and he is also in square, but only the lead unit fires, so he won't fire either. There he is in square, but the lead unit is this unit here. If any hits are taken upon that hex, the lead unit takes him first. When he's eliminated, then the hits go to the second unit. Again, he's in square, and there's also a rule that says whatever formation is in the hex, they all have to be in the same formation. So if one's in column, they both got to be in column, vice versa. They can't be in different formations unless it's artillery or something unlimbered with them. is fired. Alright, the next unit to fire will be my artillery unit here. And that will be a short distance, 2 hexes away. So that means strength points times 2. So we'll get a 4 strength point firing going on here. Because we're getting old. And, what do they call it? I can't remember. Hold on a second. Yeah, see, there you go. So anyway, let me see here. So that's a gyro modifier now. Oh, obstacle square does nothing about that. For fire combat, for infantry. Gyro modifiers for fire combat. Target is artillery, no. Target is obstructed terrain, no. Artillery firing at a square is +4. There you go, that's what we're looking for. Alright, and that will be the only one, so we'll get, this will be under the 4 strength point column. We'll get a +4. Alright, +4 on this die roll, looking for anything over a 10. French die roll. +4, looking for the ultimate high die roll against that square. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, that's 13, I think. Oh, seriously, I was absent the day they taught math, so I think it's 15. Wow. Let me see here real quick. There you go. -2 strength points. If there was a leader in that hex, we'd have to take a leader check. I'm pretty sure what that means, but either or. If they suffer 2 strength point hit. Kaboom. Hold on a second here. Not good to be in square when there's artillery nearby. That's what it was all about. That die roll just solidified it. And another fired marker. Alright, a successful artillery strike. Next unit coming up here for fire. Look for some more artillery unlimbered. I don't see any here. Oh, is this an artillery underneath here? It sure is, but he's limbered. Unfortunately for the Russian, he didn't get unlimbered. So all this, like I said, micromanaging. If I drop this camera and hit this right now, I thought, as a matter of fact, that reminds me. Let's get a little shot every once in a while. It's good, just in case. Yeah. Painted those a long time ago. Like I said, there are Prussians in this game. They haven't come in yet. They won't come in this scenario. But yeah, just in case. For posterity. In case something falls, I can always stop and zoom in and see who was what, where, and when. Alright. Oh, let's get on with it. Next one is, I got some fantasy basketball we're doing real good at. As a matter of fact, we got like $20,000 on the line, so I'm going to pause it here. Go check out my score, see if I got lucky. I won't. It's a 1 in a million, but I was within 10 points. So it was looking real good. Sometimes it's better just to walk away. But yeah, we're going to pause here. When we come back, I'm thinking the only fire, we'll look for artillery. Coming down the line here. It's going to be all the close combat within the obstructed hexes, which consist of buildings. We'll be back. Alright, well, I just got done recording the segment, and forgot to hit the record button, so I'll try to do this again. Oh, I think the next unit to fire will be this unit here. And I was just stating, before I knew I didn't hit the record button, that the artillery is able to face any way it wants. He can spin around here like he was on a turret. And what he basically is. So before they fire, they have that option to where these units here can only pivot one little marker. So if you're facing this way, you can only pivot this way or this way, but you do get a chance to pivot. And as I was stating, we were going to fire at this unit, but it might be better to fire at this unit, but we'll get a penalty for firing at them because they're obstructed. They're amongst the buildings. Artillery not as effective, so that just let it find it for me. We'll stay where we're at. No need to shoot back here anywhere. This will be our next victim. We'll check out all the modifiers here in a second. Having a great time with this game. Components were lacking, but once you get it down the table, we can't wait to get into the actual battle. This, like I said, it's a little simplified game. This game on itself is fantastic, but got all these parts here we got to use, and a lot more cubes. We got all the cubes over here. There you go. A lot more cubes to use. So there you go. We'll be back. Gets a lot more cluttered. Grand game coming on up. Don't touch that dial, as they say. We'll be back. Well, when it came to movement last hour, we were trying to withdraw Joseph's cavalry. Unfortunately for the French, they have a few units that are still lingering around the squares. In particular now, we're going to concentrate on this square here. He's going to roll 2 dice, unmodified, and try to inflict some casualties on these unlucky hussars. They're facing them, but they're getting ready to get hit with a volley from the Russian square, Russian die. Fortunately from them, that doesn't do anything. Ooh, wrong way. There we go. All right. Hold on a second. All right, then they are fired. Oh, sorry, let me try to get up here closer. Looking through here, because I missed that one. I was going straight for the artillery. I was getting too eager beavered. Yeah, we want to keep that artillery fired at this unit. We don't want to swing around. We could take a shot out here, too, if we wanted. All kinds of shots. We could even shoot over here at this artillery. Oh, let me see there. That will be light artillery. Range of light artillery or foot artillery is 8 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so you could theoretically do it. Or even fire this way. We'll take the closest one we could pack with some grape shot. Alright, I don't think we'll see how many units are on that hex. Alright, we have 2 batteries. This one here, though, is only 1 strength point, so we have 3 strength points total. At a very short range, 2 hexes. There you go. So it'll be 6 strength point column. There you go. We're looking for an 8 or more. And the modifiers will be 0. Now, if we were firing on a column, we'd get a +2, but in line, none. So rolling. Ooh, 2 Russian die. There you go. I think they're on the side of the hill, so line of sight will be no problem. So, rolling 2 die. Looking for a high number for artillery effect. Oh, a 10. It'll give us a hit, I guess. Oh, yeah. It inflicts one strength point loss. There you go. 2 marker for the 2 units that fired. Nailed them. That's what it's all about. Right now, I do believe we'll be moving into the urban fire. There's something I wanted to see on this. I do believe this is treated like, maybe, I just read the rules, I'm going to read this right now, that it's a maximum of 2 strength points come out of a obstructed hex. Let me look over here on the terrain effects chart. Yeah, we are correct. Fire combat in a village, number of strength points firing equals 2, so it's just like being in a square. If target is a -2, if target is an obstructed hex, so we'll be only shooting with 2 under this one here, and a -2. I see that also, -2 if the target is in, so yeah. An effective fire in obstructed hexes. We're going down the line, taking a break, getting kind of late. But might stay at it here for a little bit. We'll be right back. All right, we'll enter the urban or village combat. Russian will fire first. Maximum 2 strength points. -2. The ultimate high roll needed here. Oh, that does nothing. Next fire combat from the Grenadiers. Now he cannot fire into this hex here. Oh, it has no obstructions. Let's check that out. Yeah, so caught the French out in the open. Let's make sure he's not in an obstructed hex. Yeah, he is. So in an obstructed hex, firing in a unit out of an obstructed hex. So sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. You'd figure he'd have the advantage. We'll check that out. He's still. Oh, you know what though? He doesn't. He can only shoot with 2. They can shoot with what they want, but he gets all kinds of modifiers. Anyway, we're looking at the same thing, except without the -2 penalty. So he can only shoot 2, but instead of -2 for firing into a obstructed hex, he'll be rolling without. I'm still in the 2 strength point column, but this time without a -2 modifier. That's how that works. Looking for a high roll. Does not get it. Does that say something or what? Alright, hold on a second. Now, if he would have inflicted any casualties on this unit, we don't apply them till it's all done with. So we would just put a marker on there. But so far, nothing's happening in these units here. Again, couldn't response fire because they do all their damage on cavalry charges, not fire combat in this game anyway. I think if you wanted to make it realistic, I'd shoot him with just maybe 2 strike points. We should do that as a house rule, since this game is so messed up as it was, but they have something going on, and we should shoot at these guys at least 2. Let me see here. Hold on. Do the Chevelles have rifles? I don't see nothing there, just swords. So maybe they got it right. We're thinking wrong. Maybe we're thinking of dragoons or something. Alright then. All these units have fired. I guess it's a French turn. We're going down the line. Let me check this out. We'll be right back. Or maybe I'll go take a nap. We'll come right back after that. We'll see how it goes. It's a long night. I gotta work. I do have to work tomorrow, even though it is a weekend for everybody else. We'll be done here. Be right back. Alright, continuing with the village. Ineffective fire. French. In an obstructed village hex. Firing at Russian units in an obstructed village hex. We'll see if we can do this by video. Oh, no, I don't think that's going to work. Oh, maybe. But anyway. Russian or French turn. Rolling French dice. -2 under the 2 column. Only 2 strength points can fire out of a village. Do the ultimate high roll. That won't do anything. Next unit. These units here are all in obstructed hexes. So it'll all be 2 -2. We'll pick which one. I guess we'll go against this one here. Ultimate high roll. -2. Ooh, that will do something. 6, 7, 8. Under the 2 column. Nope. I don't think we can do anything with a -2. 12 would be a 10. Oh, you can't do nothing. So this is ineffective fire. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but yeah, so, okay. He'll fire here. This boy here is going to fire with all of his strength points because he is in clear terrain. And that will be 8 strength points with a -2 modifier. There you go. -2 strength, a chance to do something here, I guess. But 8 strength points. There you go. Yep. Well, let's hold on a second. We're wrong again. We're wrong. Ooh, when you're in line, you can only shoot a max about 4, but that's times 2, so that's still 8. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go. Just have to check everything out. -2 under the 8 column. Oh, that ain't gonna do nothing. Your powder's all wet, boys, filled with snow. Hold on a second here. Alright, then. Russians taking cover. Fire in amongst the village. Pretty much ineffective. We have some units unlimbered here. So we'll be going on down here, and the Russians now taking advantage of their artillery. Oh, get ready for an artillery barrage. What do they call that? Oh, there's a name for that. I can't remember. Well, we're going to press stop here real quick. Might do this a little bit later. Like I said, it's getting late. Next segment. Artillery battery barrage, I guess. What did they call that? There was a grand battery. Yeah. A little bit of a grand battery going on against the French. Now, luckily, they're in column. If they were they're in line. If they were in column or square, woo, it'd be a tough time. I'll be right back. All right, we'll be the next day. Not much time, but we are going to try us a little bit of this grand battery fire. This is 1, or is this 2? Just 1 unit. The unit underneath him is a infantry unit in line, so he can't fire, but this heavy artillery can. We're going to go up the hill here on this slope. If he can look down, he can look up. So, and this is a replacement general. As a matter of fact, a little info on this little hex here. This unit hasn't moved since the first hour when he got hammered by artillery and barrage, and it took out Klein and inflicted some hits. I believe those are dragoons that have been severely mauled. Wow, I didn't know it was a 3. So we're going to go ahead and we might take all 3 of them. Well, we got some nice targets. We might choose one. I think one of these hexes has 2 artillery units on there. I don't know why we're out of focus. There you go. So we have, what is that? 4 strength points. Let's see what we got here. Effective range is 2 hexes away, so that will be a short distance, 2 to 3 hexes. So his strength points will be times 2, so we'll be firing under the 16th strength point table. And the modifiers will be as follows. Nothing really. No modifier. Oh, heavy artillery +1. So heavy artillery. And you can tell heavy artillery by this little line here. You see how this is a thick line compared to. Oh, we ain't got no more over here. Yeah, we do. A real thin line. So that's a way to tell. Yeah, we have some thick artillery lines here. So, all right, rolling is a +1. We're rolling Russian die. +1. Let me pause it here and make sure we get everything situated. All right, +1. If you're a Russian fan looking for a high die roll, that is not. I mean, that has come up a bunch of times. So that a 3 under 8 is a nada. So a wasted shot by the artillery, or just a shot but no effect. We'll move on to our next battery. There's one showing there, and infantry again underneath them. So we didn't get an infantry alone on the hex penalty if they got charged. So those are showing up as Cheshires, and not Dechevelles, but just the regular Cheshires. But I think they were called Jaegers who are in there with them. So we have heavy artillery and Jaegers. Again, going to fire at the same hex. We'll go for it. So it'll be 8 strength points. +1, looking for a better roll than Snake Eyes. 1 battery fired, no good. 2nd battery. Oh, Wow. I mean, you see, you ain't making this shit up. All right, 13 under the 8. Oh, no. There'll be a leader check. And they get 2 strength points, so somebody zeroed in, got their mark. And it was this heavy artillery unit. Wow, 2 strength point loss. Dragoons getting hammered. I don't know if it's a strength, if we have to make a leader check. I'm pretty sure that's it. But I don't know if they make a stand check with that result. So, yeah, replacement general. Might have been they might have bowled a strike on that one. We'll be right back. Then my gaming intuitions were correct. If a unit suffers a asterisk result due to a single fire combat, make a stand check. But you also, or rather if it fails a stand check and it retreats, you also test for a leader casualty target in the hex. There you go. Alright. Yep, we'll be right back. Alright, look at this stand table. Most of these modifiers are for checking a stand if a unit's been eliminated or retreat that's adjacent to them. That won't apply with any of these. You come down here, then when it really will apply is the leader present. And then we'll plus 1 leader ranking. So you can see here his leader ranking is the number on the left. So that'll be a +1 on his stand die roll. And, hold on a second, let me get you out of here real quick and read that a unit has a stand result, blah, 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 blah. When the modified die roll is smaller than a 6, the unit loses just 1 strength point. So, as a French player, or as a Russian player, we're looking for a low roll. French will get a +1 because I got a leader with him. And he's looking for a high roll. There you go, we got a French die. As a French player looking for a high roll. Low is good for the Russians, and this will be a +1. So 6 will be good if we make the stand. Alright, greater than a 6. I think that's going to be it for now. We'll be right back. Alright, well, I don't have to go out for dinner. Beautiful wife is home. So she yells down here for something. Well, we'll just edit it out. But anyway, she's yelling for the dog outside. So you hear a big commotion when the dog comes in with her. All right. I don't think we have to check for a leader casualty check. It says if they failed to stand. So I might be interpreting that wrong. And an asterisk might mean you have to check for one, but I interpret it as no check unless he failed to stand. They made the stand. All right, we're just getting kind of busy here. We'll be right back. All right, then we're ready to fire with our last heavy artillery unit. We're going to take a shot at one of these. Then we went back to maybe shooting at this one. He's only got 1 strength point less, but maybe he's doing us more of a favor blocking this position. If we eliminate him, that opens up a way for the French cavalry to come on through. So it might be just better for him to be dazing around there and picking up his casualties and using that as a uninterruptible hex for stacking limitations. So I think we'll just shoot 8 + 1 right here. 8 strength points. +1 for being heavy cavalry. Oh man. Another highly trained heavy cavalry. Alright, that is another, oops. Oh, 12. 2. You have to make a stand check. Excellent shooting. Alright, hold on a second. Alright, and no modifiers. I'm looking. Nope, I don't see anything. No obstructed terrain. Nothing else there. Alright, 2 die rolls for the French. Oh. Get a high roll. Stay put. That does it. Oh yeah. Alright. Both French units held their ground. We'll go on with more fire combat when we come back. Got a lot going on. We're back. Recreating history. The battle for Eylau. And the old firing is commencing on down the line. We're at this point here with this unit, but he's facing the wrong way. He's facing going this way for some reason. I don't know what happened on that one. I can see where they're building up. I mean, he's going this way. But anyway, they're allowed one facing change, so he will look like that. And he will go ahead with, we'll have to check his fire, because you're allowed a maximum of 4, but he is at 3. So, hold on, we're going to see how to do this. Hold on. Times 2, so that'd only be a 6. Okay. So he's only firing at 6 instead of 8 maximum. Is he in A? No, he's not. We're out of the town. So firing with 6, and what kind of die roll modifiers we have here? I don't see any. No defensive fire. French infantry against infantry in a column. Nope. No heavy artillery. So firing with 2 dice under the 6 strength point column. Russian. Get us out of zoom. Russian roll. Oh, that's pretty good, I think. A 10 under a 6. Although we are under 6. Oh, yeah. It'll still give us, you can't see this. Let's zoom this on in here. Under the 6 column instead of the, it's still the 6 and 8. Okay, so it's still the 8 column. And with a 10, no modifier. Ooh. 1 strength point lost. That was against Laval. His, what would that be? A battalion. The battalion Laval's with. We'll go ahead and put a 1 marker on there to say he got 1 hit. And that unit is fired. We'll go on down the line here. Let's take a break. Alright, well again, I thought I was recording it. It's going to be one of those nights. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So hopefully this isn't a redundancy. But anyway, we're just looking down the line here. And you can see the obvious that the Russians are definitely getting the better of the fire phase. With all the fire combats they have over the French. Now the French was anticipating that. That's why we were trying to get these units adjacent. We just came up short. The next thing you know, the old fire cube did come up to the detriment of the French player. So, yeah, a little bit of lady luck on the Russian side. It was like that the last fire phase. So the 2 fire cubes that were pulled out have definitely been pro-Russian. They've been being able to squeeze off a lot more guns. All right, this next one will be this unit against this unit. Now, this general's unit, we're not going to give him his hits yet until after all the firing's done, but he's got a pretty strong unit. I think it might be a 10 strength pointer. I'm sorry about that. 10 strength pointer, so he could absorb the hits, but he's definitely already taken 1 strength point loss, so he's going to fire at him also. So we'll see that. And it's his unit. Line infantry, rated at a 7, but talk about worn down. Wow. Alright, well, 2 times 2 is a 4, so he'll be going underneath the 4 table. Now that will be a column shift change. 6 to 8, 4 to 5, so he'll be going underneath the 4. There is a leader involved. Does that help anything on the fire combat? I don't see nothing. Nope, nothing like that. No leader involved. You would thought he could have directed the fire or something, but I guess not. So no leader. We'll be rolling 2 Russian dice underneath the 2 column. Oh, let's see here. Oh no, that's right. Times 2 is a 4, because I was going to say there ain't much. He's going to need a 9 at least to hit 2 times 4, or 2 times 2 is 4. 9 or more to hit. Oh, it does nothing. Okay, so hold on this one. As weird as it was, if you only have 2 strength points firing, you probably would only roll a 2. So that's worked out pretty good. Hold on a second. So I'm off. Coming up short. There's fire segment. All right. His units next to him will also fire. We're going to be... Yeah. They're right in front. Let me see if they want to make a... Are they... Yeah, they're at the right spot. Maybe they don't want to make a pivot change. We could still shoot. That's still considered our front. These are our comrades here, so we'll go ahead and shoot that way. Let's see what their strength actually is. It originally was a 7 strength pointer. Alright, now it's not too bad with a 6. But they can only shoot out 4 at a time. Times 2 is 8, so we shoot underneath the 8 table. With, again, no modifiers. For a high roll for some casualties. Or low rolls if you're rooting for the Russians. Or for the French. Oh, 9. Under the 8. That'll do it. That'll give him a 1 hit. Nine column. 6 to 8. So he will go from a 1 to a 2 hitter. Alright, going on down the line next, we have another unit, then an artillery unit. And then we'll give the 2 French units here a chance to respond. Well, I think we got some more fire here. And that might be it. We'll see if there's any artillery lagging around, but I think they're all limbered. Alright, so 2 hits on that unit so far. Take a break, we'll be right back, straighten everything out. Oop. Alright, next unit firing here. I don't know if there was a delay. Well, it was strange. Hopefully it hasn't been recording while I was sitting down. Let me stop this real quick. Alright, I guess we're good. Alright, well we got Now do I want to fire at him? Yeah, let's keep the volleys going. So he'll be firing with, there's a marker underneath him. 2 strength points in line. That'll be times 2, so it'll be underneath the 4 column. Rolling 2 dice. Underneath the 4 column, looking for a high roll, unmodified. 7. I don't think that's going to do anything. Underneath the 4 column, 7 comes up short. Whoa, zoom feature. There you go. 4 column, 7 comes up short. So nothing from this unit here. Firing it to this one. Alright then. Now for the artillery. I guess we'll fire the artillery. Nobody else can fire it till we get to these squares. These squares will squeeze off a couple volleys under the 2 strength point column. Alright, I want to straighten this out. I think we're getting a little bit goofy here. Been hitting everything. We'll be right back. Next, I think we got a little mini grand battery. We have a couple artillery pieces up on a hill. And unfortunately for the French, they're right adjacent to them. But, again, fortunately for the French, it's just little foot artillery. So they'll be chucking a couple rounds. I don't know how many did we say that was guns per battery. But yeah, he'll have a bunch of softball-sized projectiles coming on down there. We'll see what kind of damage they can do. I think there's 2 units here. Let me see there. 2 on top and 2 on bottom. So it'll be a total of 4 strength points. Adjacent times 4. Ooh. Yeah, adjacent strength points times 4. So 4 times 4 will be 16 column. Because instead of stuffing that cannon full of softball-sized projectiles, they're putting in some nails, rocks, pieces of glass. They're going to put themselves in some big old buckshot, I guess. And then I'm going to make sure I look at that right. Let me see here. infantry unit is in. It doesn't affect infantry. It's all artillery. Artillery range. Foot artillery. It's got an ATAX range. Short distance. Oh no, adjacent. Yeah, that's right. Adjacent times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Gyro modifier now. Artillery is fighting on square. Artillery is firing on column. No, not defensive fire. Not heavy artillery. So no modifier for this roll. And we're going under the 16 table. This could be painful. All right, French player hoping for a little roll. Ba-boom. All right, it's unmodified. So 7. Under here will be, come on, zoom feature. Maybe we got away with 1. Yeah. I'll take that away there. Let me see here. Yep, 1. Got away with 1. Alright, hold on a second here. Instead of an 11, he is now a 10 because he took a hit. We almost reduced him. I hope we didn't do that on this one. But anyway, alright, well, he takes a hit. And 2 units are fired. Alright, I think now what we'll do, let's keep on going. I think we only got these 2 squares, and then it'll take care of the Russian fire. Then we'll answer back with the French. When we're done firing, we'll apply these hits that they took. Alright, there you go. That's how it's done. Having a great time with this game. Almost done with the fire phase. Then we'll go back to the chit draw, or cube draw. I'll be back. Alright, next fire combat, I guess we'll come over here. And this one here will be rolling two dice. I'm sorry. But underneath the 2 strength point column, he could do that to both of these units. This unit won't be able to fire back, but he won't be able to. So just a pock shot. Some squares, throwing out some musket fire, and limited to 2 strength points per side. Just looking for high die roll, unmodified. Ooh, under a 2. Zoom feature. That'll do it. Oh, wow, you got one. All right then. We will. He'll be firing out this one. Hope for the same result. 2 Russian die. My white Russian die, because Solid Drum Games did not include dice with my game. And I wasn't able to get anywhere with anybody in the company either. They just told me basically to eat it. 9, I ain't going to do any good with a 2. No, so no good on that one. Alright then, we will have us a smoke marker on the square to signify that he has been fired. He is fired. Roll again. Oh, you know what? That's he's going up a slope. That don't matter though. I don't see that on a die roll modifier for fire combat, so he could go ahead and shoot 2 die unmodified at some dragoons. Ooh. Looking for a high roll if you're a Russian fan. Low roll if you're rooting for the French. Ooh, if you're rooting for the French, that came through. Alright then, we will have us a last fired marker. I believe that is it. No other French units, no other artillery. When we come back, Hillfire, and Hillfire. I think that's it. I don't see any artillery, and then we'll call it a video. We'll be done with the fire combat round. We'll be back. Now, we do have 1 French artillery unit that is unlimbered, and he gets to pivot around any way he wants. But unfortunately, we have line of sight issues. So won't be, unless it was a howitzer or some kind of a mortar and can lob it on over. But yeah, he ain't gonna be able to do anything. So that is it. We'll get on with our first fire combat. Let me check out these units. I gotta flip a bunch of them over, find out who I want to shoot at. Everything else will be right back. And then out of all three of these optional hexes, the old boy here only has 2 strength points, so therefore we will pivot and fire our strength points this way. It'll be a maximum of 8. There will be no die roll modifiers. I do not believe. French infantry fire against infantry in column. Don't see nothing like that, or square, so they're all in line. So underneath the 8 strength point column, only 2 French die. All right, here. Looking for a high number. Take them down. If we could get them to retreat, that'd be nice, but we need the ultimate. We need a 12, I think, or higher for 2 strength point loss. So let's look for a high French roll. Wow. All right, underneath the 8 with a 10. Oh, we just missed it. So they lose 1 strength point. So it moves them down to a... Alright. So he is fired. We'll go ahead then and apply the... Oops. We gotta watch ourselves here. Watch ourselves. The 2 hits that he had now onto him. And the ball will be with him. Alright, we're not done with that sucker yet. We still gotta... Oh, hold on a second. Alright, I had to get our smoke marker. Alright. I believe this unit here is going to fire on him too. Let's see what we got there real quick. Alright, so we get to throw a full 8 strength points at him. With no die roll modifier. Again, looking for a high roll. If we can get a retreat result and get a cascading effect is what we're looking for. So we need to eliminate them. And then all these units make a stand. Let's go. So it's a 8 strength points with 2 dice, no modifier. No modifier. Looking for a high roll. Oh, that's not going to do nothing with a 7, I don't think. We'll look underneath here real quick. An 8 with a 7. Oh, zoom feature. Sometimes battles are just a matter of near misses. 7. So we do have, yep. So nothing, they survive. No stand checks. Alright, so we're up to date. Now he has himself a hit that he has to apply, or have applied to him. So hold on a second here real quick. Alright, I think that part of the battlefield's up to date. He has 1 payback shot he could take against a square. Then we'll be done. Let me straighten this all out. We're getting way too cluttered. We'll be right back. Alright, the last fire combat will feature this unit in line, firing on these old boys in square. Maybe we'll get a mire fire on that one. So it'll be 9 strength points. You can only fire 4. And when you're in line, it's ×2. So under the 8 column, 2 French dice. And, oh, do we get a modifier here? Target is artillery. Target is obstructed terrain. Artillery firing on a square. That's the only one you get an advantage from. French infantry fire against infantry in column for C rules. Nothing there. So an unmodified French roll. There you go. Line versus a square. Looking for a high roll. 9 under the 8 column. Oh, let's see here. 8. Oh, that does do 1. Yeah, so we inflict 1 hit on the on the square. All right, we gotta give him a hit. So let's hold off here. All right, there's a hit he took. He has fired, and he has inflicted a hit on the top lead unit here, so there you go. They take one hit. With that, we're going to call it a video. I think that's it. All said and done. Hold on a second for a little cough break. All right, throat cleared. There you go. Let's see. Russians had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 fire combats versus, and this might be a little messed up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the French. That is it. All right. Did it make any difference? I think there are some units weakened around here. Other than that, the heavy artillery really blew these boys on up. That's why you don't see no smoke markers on them, and they couldn't do that. So definitely weakened this area. I think we were smart not to finish off this hex. It's down to 1 strength point. And our last artillery could have wiped them out, but I thought that might have been doing us, the French, a favor by clearing this hex out. So in this way, they're all kind of moping around, picking up their casualties, and pretty well clogging up the area. So the area is still accessible for any other unit to just come on through and charge us. So there you go, we're done. Ready for another card draw. Alright, there you go. When all is said and done, there are the battle lines. Next video, cube draw, not a card draw. so it's a one take show here, one take show. So bloopers all and everything else involved. We're gonna call it a video, like I said, and we'll be back. I don't know if it'd be much of an eventful. Nobody broke and ran. We had one that was kind of key, and he survived it. So, musket fire, pretty much ineffective. We'll be back.